Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? All right, so I'm here this afternoon with a testimony, of course. Y'all know one thing I love is to come and testify about what God has done in my life. I really believe that there is nothing better that we could share with one another than what God has done for us. So I'm super excited to be here and share this with you guys. First of all, buckle up because your entire mind is about to be blown. Any of you guys who have walked with me on a personal level through my life for the last maybe year or two kind of know some of the things that I've been through. And so I want to share with you guys how what God has for you is for you. It doesn't matter whether you're paying attention to it. It doesn't matter whether you see it coming. It doesn't matter whether you think you're qualified, but what God has for you is for you. And what I'm about to share with you guys it's beyond mind-blowing. And when the Bible says that God's ways are higher than our ways and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, that thing is so real. So I've been in my job now for exactly 1 year. This month makes exactly 1 year that I've been at my job. And this is literally the best job that I've ever had. So in my mind, right, I'm thinking I'm coming up on a year. I love my job. It's an awesome place to be. Not thinking anything of it, not thinking about anything more, just content with where I am and doing my job every day and loving it. So I would say, well, really maybe earlier in the month. So a couple of weeks ago, my job opens up a position in another department that would be a promotion from where I'm at right now. And I didn't think much of it because, remember, I've only been here for a year. So I wasn't thinking anything about it. I was watching other people apply and refer people. And, hey, sis, I was watching other people prepare to apply and go for it. And I didn't think anything of it in my mind. I'm like, oh, I only been here for a year. I probably don't even know enough to do that. I'm still learning every single day, not thinking anything of it. Last week, I go into work, and let me tell you guys, that morning, I was exhausted. Anybody that talks to me on a regular basis know that we have been working so much overtime that I barely sleep. And when I do sleep, it's for a couple of hours, and then I'm right back up because we're so busy right now. So I was exhausted. I was kind of like in my own world. Somebody from that department walks by my desk, someone who I talk to every now and then, and she goes, hey, have you heard about that position? And I'm like, oh yeah, still not thinking anything of it. I'm like, yeah, I heard about it. And she was like, I really think that you should apply. You're one of the strongest people that we have here in this other department. And I really think that you would be an awesome fit in this department. And even at that time, I'm thinking in my head, girl, yeah, right. I only been here a year. I'm still learning. I don't know everything that I think or feel like I need to know. And I don't really feel prepared or even qualified to apply for this position. So I let it go. But then later on in the conversation, she brings it back up and she's like, I really, really think you need to apply for this position. So now my wheels are kind of turning and I'm like, okay, Lord, I know I'm not ready for this. I shouldn't even be entertaining the thought of this, but something on the inside of me became excited at just the mere thought that I might be able to apply for this position. So she kept on bugging me, y'all. And one thing I'll say is God is relentless in his pursuit of you. So it's not about the people that he's using. It's about what he's trying to do. So she kept on after me and she kept on after me and she kept on after me. And she was like, when my boss comes in, I want you to send her an email. And I'm like, girl, okay, you just not going to leave me alone until I apply. So I'm going to go apply. Even when I did all that, I'm thinking in my head, I'm still not going to get it. So, but you guys remember how when God told Sarah and Abraham that they were going to have a child, in her head, Sarah laughed. And God is like, why did you laugh? And she's like, I didn't laugh. And God is like, yeah, you did on the inside, right? Because why? She knew she was too old. She thought it was impossible. And so in her mind, she's like, yeah, right. So in my mind, I'm laughing because I'm like, I've only been here a year. I'm going up against people who have been at this company way longer than me, are probably more qualified than me. And really and truly, I shouldn't even be wasting their time applying for this position. So I apply and I go through the process, and the whole while I'm doing this, y'all, in my mind, I'm getting more and more excited. In my spirit, I'm overflowing with joy, and I'm not understanding why, because I never applied for this position myself. I never thought I was qualified. I never even thought about going for it, because in my mind, I was not qualified. I've only been here a year. And in fact, I came into the company, the way I got the job was a miracle. I came into the company with no experience. So I came into this company going up against people who had been here for years trying to get my position, or the position I was applying for. And God gave it to me anyway. So here we are at the same point a year later, and I'm like, okay, God, I know what you did this time last year, and I know that if it's for me, it's mine. So I'm becoming more and more confident, and I'm waiting to hear back. And I was going up against a peer who was in my department, who's been there a lot longer than me. And I was going up against someone from another department who have been there longer than me. So as the days are going by, the enemy is coming up against me like, girl, you really don't know what you need to know. You're not ready. You're not prepared. How dare you think you're going to go up against these people who are considered veterans at this company and get this position, and you only been here for a year? You are playing yourself. You are wasting these people time, and you're going to look real stupid at the end when you don't get it. So that's what was going on in my head over the weekend. But as I got to yesterday, I was like, you know what, Lord, I'm not going to let the enemy have my hope. I'm not going to let the enemy have my identity. I am who you said I am. And if it's for me, it's for me. And it doesn't even matter whether I'm qualified. Doesn't matter whether I feel ready. Doesn't matter whether other people think I'm qualified. The only thing that matters right now is what you say about me. And what he says about us is that he has given us every place on which our foot treads, right? So I get up this morning and I'm all excited. I'm like, Lord, I know you're working. Because here's the thing, y'all. This opportunity chased me down. I didn't go looking for it. I heard them say it. They announced it in the building. And I was like, I'm not applying for that. And I went right on back to work. And this was a couple of weeks ago when they first sent the notification out. So I'm thinking in my head, I ain't even qualified. I'm not applying for that. This opportunity sent me. See, what some of us feel like that because we're not chasing what God has for us, we're not going to get it. I wasn't even in the mindset of what God had for me. And he sent somebody else with the word of the blessing. He sent the blessing after me. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't watching. I wasn't thinking. I didn't think I was qualified and nothing else. But what God has for you is for you, and it will chase you down. You don't have to be looking. You don't have to be waiting. You don't have to be watching. That sitting at my desk that day, minding my business, that blessing came and found me. That opportunity came and found me. Somebody came to me and was like, hey, I see what's in you. And sometimes, isn't it funny how other people see what's in us when we don't see it ourselves? Other people see our goodness and the gifts that God has given us and our talents and our potential. And we're just like Gideon. God starts telling us all these awesome things about us, and we shrinking back and we're like, but God, I don't know. Because we know the messed up stuff about us. We know the things that need work about us. So we disqualify ourselves. But God said, if I called you to it, I've already qualified you. You don't have to be qualified according to man's standards. You don't have to be qualified according, y'all, the position. And let me go ahead and just say this. I got it. Okay, I got it. I got word this morning. When I first got to work, they called me in and they were like, you got the position. We're so excited to bring you on. We've been watching you. And I'm like, watching who? Because sometimes when you don't think nobody is watching you, people in high positions are watching you. The Bible says in Proverbs 18:16 that your gifts make room for you. Let me tell you guys a little bit about what I do. I work for a mortgage company. And I respond to complaints from like regulatory agencies and federal government agencies and stuff like that. When I was little, I loved to write. One thing I have always loved to do is write. I don't know why. I just have always been good at it. People would pay me in high school. I'm so glad I graduated, so can't nobody do nothing to me about this. People would pay me in high school to write their papers because I'm not bragging on me, but I'm saying that gift that God put in me, I could write a 6-page paper in a night and barely know what it was about. I could write something easily without any effort or any thought. When it came to essays and stuff, baby, I always had it. I never had to struggle. So last year, the department that they hired me for was a department that was responsible for writing letters to the federal government. I didn't think anything of it. But now seeing back then, the gift that God gave me, even as a child, to be able to write and to be able to have strong communication and verbal skills is what got me that job last year. Aside from people who were probably more qualified, that job required a degree. That job required all kind of stuff that I did not have, and yet I still got it. So here I am again today, a whole year later. What did they want, y'all? They wanted a 4-year degree. They wanted you to have studied in a specific area. They wanted all of these things. I didn't have it. All I had was a year worth of experience in this department. Didn't think I was qualified. Going up against people who've been here 2 and 3 and 4 years and 6 years and stuff like that. And I got it. When I got to work this morning and they called me in and they said, we would like to offer you the position. We've been watching you. We're so excited to have you. I'm like, who, me? Really? Because I never in my wildest dreams thought that it would be me in that position. I didn't think anything of it, but God said, you know what? I got something for you. And since you're not paying attention, I'm going to send somebody else to let you know that I got something for you. And so what we have to understand is that what God has for us, no matter what season we're in, no matter whether we're paying attention or not, God will send that blessing after you. This position that I got today is a promotion. I only been at this company for a year. I wasn't paying attention. I didn't go after it. It was people jumping left and right, going after this position. I was still sitting in my desk working, thinking, it ain't gonna be me. And then all in 1 week, y'all, they were done with interviews when this person came and said that to me. They weren't even supposed to be interviewing anymore. Okay. They had already closed out the interview process. They already had really strong prospects, people who were really qualified for this position, that really desired this position from the very beginning. And here I was coming in at the end, hadn't even thought about it, straggling in. They made room for me to apply. They gave me time. They made space to accept an interview from me. They did all these things. God will move obstacles out of your way when he has something for you. And what I want you guys to understand right now, because a lot of people are always watching and going, well, God is doing it for you. He's not doing it for me. Can I tell y'all that what God has for you has been ordained since the very beginning of time? From the very beginning of time, God has ordained what he has for you. But we have to understand that God's thoughts and his ways and his timing are higher than ours. Acts chapter 1 verse 7 says, it's not for you to know the times that he has appointed. But what you need to know is this: he has already worked it out. He has already appointed it. I have been at a company for a year, and I have a position that people typically have to be there for years to have a degree to have. And I'm telling you this to let you know, I wasn't looking for the blessing. I wasn't checking for the blessing. I wasn't seeking the blessing. I was content with doing my job and loving my job every single day. And God sent the blessing after me. He sent the blessing after me. And I keep saying that because I want you to know you can't miss what God has for you. So many people get discouraged because you think, well, I've made too many bad decisions. I've made too many mistakes. I've made too many detours. I'm not going to get what God has for me because I'm not in position. I'm not paying attention. I'm not praying and fasting. Can I tell you, God is a good, good father. He's a merciful father. He is faithful to us even when we're not faithful to him. He has promises and purpose over your life. He has a plan that he has ordained from the very beginning of time. And so what he has for you is yours. Can't nobody take it. Can't nobody keep it from you. The devil can't have it. None of that. And you have to understand, and it makes no sense. We have to stop questioning what God is doing in our lives. And we got to understand that it may not always make sense, but it's because it's what he has for us. So this is just yet another example in my life. And I know that you guys have experienced it as well, that what's for you is for you. If it's nothing else that I can say for you to understand today, it's just simply that what God has for you is for you. Can't nobody take it. Can't nobody. Some of us right now are looking around at what somebody else has, and we're thinking, oh, but they got my blessing. No, they didn't. How did they get your blessing when your blessing already has your name on it? Okay, I was going up against other people that should have gotten this position, but who got it? Me. Why? because it had my name on it. It don't make sense, and favor ain't fair, and I can't explain it, but all I know is that I'm happy today because it's just reaffirmation that my God is awesome. It's reaffirmation that I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. I'm worthy because I'm his. I'm qualified because he called me. There were other people that were qualified for this position, way more than me. But what qualified me? The fact that I belong to him and he called me to it. He gifted me before I was ever born to do what I do. And I never thought that it would be in a professional place. Like, I never thought. We go through life every single day not thinking that our spiritual gifts are in operation in any other place other than our relationship with God in that church. Don't you know that God loves us and he has a plan for us to prosper us? So your gifts are in operation when you're at work, when you're at home, when you're at the store, when you're at church. Your spiritual gifts are not just to advance you in the kingdom. We have an abundant life through Christ. Abundant life means prosperity. Abundant life means that while we may go through some times and seasons where we feel like we are not prospering, they are still working together. Romans 8:28. They're still working together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his plan. So even your mishaps, even your mistakes, even your downfalls are working together for your good to get you to where God has for you, his intended plan. So y'all, I was super hyped and I had to share that with you guys because I have one thing that I love about God is an opportunity to testify. I love when God does something so crazy in my life that I can run and go tell everybody. And some people are like, you shouldn't be telling all your business. It's not my business to tell. I believe God gives all of us a testimony to go run and tell, to strengthen the faith and encourage others who may not be in their season and may be feeling discouraged and maybe thinking God is not doing it for me. Your testimony is for the glory of God. And what puts you directly in line with God's blessings is you not being afraid to give God his glory. If you notice things that God has done in the Bible for people, when Jesus would heal or teach or something like that, what happened? People would always go out and tell other people because that is how we advance the kingdom, by sharing the goodness of God and the love of God and sharing the power of God at work on the inside of our lives. So I'm going to let you guys go, but I wanted to come and share that with you guys, and I wanted to come and testify and just give you guys some encouragement and share what God has done for me today and let you know it's not just me. We may be in two different places of our journey. I may be in one place, you may be in another. Somebody else may be ahead of me. But what I can say is that God has a plan for each and every one of us, and we're all headed in the same direction. And that is to prosper and to not be harmed. That's God's promise to us. I love you, family, and I'll talk to you guys later.